All right, last war of the season, we've got Apocalypse, Kingpin, and Cosmic Ghost Rider bands. Boss Island, Chavez Boss, we've got Human Torch, Scorpion with Synergy, and Kitty Pride. Hyperion, maybe Symbiote Supreme, maybe Hood, maybe Rintraw. Scorpion, Fury, Mole Man, Immortal Abomination, Gallon, Kitty Pride. Blade will probably work, maybe even Rintraw or Hood. Bishop, we've got Kitty Pride, Immortal Abomination, Sasquatch, Quicksilver, Archangel, and Human Torch. Wong, we've got Anti-Venom, Rolk, and King Groot, we've got Rintraw and Hood. And then there's a bunch of other counters for these as well, but those are just off the top of my head real quick. Path 1 through 3 on the way out. Angela, you've got Knull. Might be able to get away with Rintraw or Hood. Yeah, and then Path 1, Omega Sentinel for the whole thing, or War Machine. Path 2, Nimrod or Omega Sentinel for that Sauron, and Omega Red, or really any counter to Kingpin there on Path 2. Path 3, Knull for Surfer, and then you can use Doom or Nebula for Colossus. 4 through 6 on the way out. Killmonger, you got Omega Red or Kitty Pride. Path 4, Shang-Chi, Fury, probably some of your best options. Maybe even Doom for Terrax after the boss is down. Path 5, Human Torch for that Maw, maybe Omega Sentinel as well. And then Human Torch, Mr. Negative, Kitty Pride for Rintraw. Path 6, Annihilus, you can use White Magneto. You can use pretty much any option that doesn't nullify, as long as you have White Magneto pre-fight. And then Mangog, Human Torch, or Magic, probably your top options. Or Scorpion, an Awakened Scorpion. And then on the way in, we've got Havok. That's going to be Omega Sentinel for sure. 7 through 9 on the way out. Skrull, you've got Rintraw, you've got Archangel. You even have Doom. Path 7, Warlock for that Domino or Nimrod. And then Archangel, Mole Man, or Fury for Spam. Path 8, Hulkling, you got Tigra, you've got Rintraw, you've got Hood. Path 9 can be pretty sketch. I would probably go Symbiote Supreme for the whole thing with this Shock Odin pre-fight. And then for Mordo, you can probably get away with Nebula as well. On the way in, we've got Doom. It's going to be Magneto with Max Pacify. I'm sure Blade works there as well. Looking at section 2, 1 through 3 on the way in, Infamous Doom, Knull, and Doom with Mr. Fantastic Synergy, probably your top 2 options. Fury there, Archangel, Omega Red, or even Kitty Pride. Kitty Pride's a bit risky. Cersei there on Hazard Shift. Symbiote Supreme is known to work well. And then I'm sure any of the options that are half immune and just playing it safe and smart would work there, but you can always use an Odin pre-fight to cover the shock if you use an Incinerate immune. 1 through 3 on the way out. Section 1, Mephisto, Kitty Pride, and Human Torch as your options. Path 1, just bring a cord counter, really. Bishop ended up taking that whole path pretty well, actually, and you can use Omega Sentinel for Magneto as well. Path 2, Weapon X, you've got Knull, you've got Warlock, you've got Nimrod, and then Thing, you've got Falcon, you've got Fury, Mole Man, or even Elsa. And then Path 3 there, Nimrod, you can use Nebula or Hulkling or Gallon. And then 4 through 6 on the way out, Immortal Abomination, just use a Poison Immune, Nimrod, Warlock, all good options. Path 4, you can use Scorpion or Rolk. Path 5, White Magneto, the whole thing, or Kitty Pride, Misty, and then use Tigra for Nova. Path 6, Blade, plenty of options. Archangel is probably your top. You can get away with Warlock. You can also use Omega Red if you're working in an Omega Red team. 7 through 9 on the way out. Aarkus, you've got Captain Marvel movie with Fury synergy or Shang-Chi. Path 7, Longshot, Human Torch, or Kitty Pryde. And then Mojo, Human Torch. Mr. Negative could do it. It's a pretty tight fight. You could probably also use Archangel. Path 8 there, we have Dragon Man. Magneto would work there, but so would Doom or Nebula. And then Path 9, Shang-Chi, Jabari Panther, or CMM for Void, and then CMM or Shang-Chi for Knull. And that'll do it for defense. Let's take a look at attack. All right, so War 12 is the unnecessary rematch against GT40. We aren't able to get top 3 with a win. Not that we beat GT40 ever in quite a while. But we were also locked in top 10 technically. We had a pretty good lead if some of the lower alliances won out to our loss. But today I took in Omega Sentinel, Shang-Chi, and Hood. Shang-Chi does all of the heavy lifting, and Omega Sentinel and Hood both have 1 fight apiece. So Path 9 here, I have Path 9 and Path 4. Path 9 here, we've got Void first. You guys have seen me do this before. Nothing special here. Since it is a lot of Shang-Chi fights, I decide to slap on a skill boost just for the damage, not the power back, because I can't for the second node. But here we are Cleanse, Wushu, Parry, Heavy Reset, and we're just going through that until Void is down. So rank 4 Void most likely has max defensive masteries, so that his health pool is even larger than it already is. But there's our Cleanse Wushu and the Heavy, and then here's another Cleanse Wushu. Stun through block since he's being passive. We Heavy there, was kind of trying to delay it. Could have delayed it a little bit longer, but it wasn't a big deal. Just went right into the next cleanse, bait out the special 2, get the Heavy Reset, and on this next cleanse we are going to drop special 2. And it's not going to KO him. It's going to put him near. Go in for the special 1. I actually tried to retaliate and it didn't move with a medium there. That was a light out of that. But no sweat. We heal up. We go into our next fight. Knull here on 18. Now, Knull here is a bit tricky. And I had a game plan from a previous attempt that worked out pretty well. But you're going to see I end up going away from it. So it's Cleanse Wushu, then get him to block Stun Wushu, then Heavy to reset, and then reverse the 2 when he's at 1 bar of power. But in blocking and trying to get him to turtle, he just wants to throw his Heavy. So I had practiced a bunch, and it was double dexing his Heavy that was getting the AI to be a bit passive and block. But I decided if I got too close to my wall or if it took too long and he wasn't being passive, then I was going to start hitting into him. So here we are doing the reverse order. Here's the double dex. He's not backing off. Double dex, not backing off. And then here I just go, all right, let's go into Stun Wushu. Let's cleanse. And let's Heavy Reset. And because of that, and me not having any of the damaging debuffs on me there, I decided that was the rotation for the rest of this fight. So we go Stun Wushu, Cleanse Wushu into special 2 when we get it. We're trying to push him aggressively to his special 2. We're trying to prevent him from throwing special 1 so that we don't have to deal with inverted controls or saving a special 2 for when it's about to hit. And I'm just not caring about hazard shift, to be honest. If it triggers in the 8 hits that I get to get cleanse up, then it triggers. But it's obviously not doing enough damage for me to actually care about it. And this special 2 will finish it. So good strategy. I'm happy to know that I can do the Stun Wushu without it having to be into his block. And then Aarkus here can be a bit tricky due to the power reserve node ability. But the game plan is the same as Void's, where we do Cleanse Wushu and then Parry Heavy Reset. However, since we will be baiting special 1s, I do encourage you to get used to Heavy retaliating his special 1. It makes your life a lot easier in the power game department. So here, Cleanse, here, Heavy, and then from here on, we're going to Cleanse Wushu, bait special 1, and off of the special 1, we are going to Heavy him. Bait a special 1, we're going to Cleanse Wushu. Bait a special 1, we're going to Heavy. And we just do this until we get to special 2. It is a rank 3, So we're hoping that this one special 2 will just finish it. And it doesn't, which is fine. We're going to block this special 2. And then we're going to go right back into baiting special 1s and going through the cleanse. And that KOs him. So Shang-Chi dominating section 1, showing off his cleanse ability pretty well. Here's Omega Sentinel's only fight. This is Power Snack with the Power Sting that you gain when the opponent gains a bar of power. I just can't think of the name right now. So she's immune to Power Snack due to immunity to Nullify. So we really only have to worry about that Power Sting. So since this is not a champion, I have to worry about which debuff is on him. I'm only going to build 1 debuff, and then I'm going to end up just ending my combos with mediums as I push myself to special 3. And then once we throw special 3, then I'm just going to end my combos with lights to pause the 6 incinerates or the plasmas in this situation that we get from special 3. So it's build the special 3, wait for the Power Sting to fall off, make sure Havok is at a low amount of power before we throw the special 3, and then pause those plasmas to just let him tick away, and that'll finish the fight. The only issue with doing Omega Sentinel here, and I mean this can go for pretty much anyone, is that she'll lose all of her armor ups from an auto block, so you have to be very careful not to accidentally miss an attack and auto block Havok. And you will die pretty quickly from that because it places a plasma, and that just starts the whole plasma build-up thing, and you won't be able to get an armor up quick enough. But there's our 6 plasmas. Now we're just focused on pausing, trying to bait this special 2, and I believe he just decides not to throw it, and he decides to die. So pretty solid fight for Omega Sentinel. Her one and done. We move on, section 2, path 4. And honestly, after that Knull fight, I'm feeling pretty confident. With Shang-Chi, I had a good game plan going into this Terrax. He is a conduit defender, but I am not worried about it since I can just delay and let the debuff disappear, and then I can throw a special 2 later without it up. So my game plan here was to stun Wushu, even if his rock field was up, cleanse Wushu, and in that stun still heavy to reset. And now I'm going to let the rock field die. And then when it dies, I'm going to get him to be passive, get him to block, stun Wushu through block, cleanse Wushu, heavy reset. And this is the game plan until we get to special 2, where we're going to do the exact same thing, but after the cleanse Wushu, we are going to get him to turtle. We're going to do the unblockable Wushu, and we're going to throw special 2. So here it is. I want to get this special 1 out before I decide to drop this special 2. I decide to heavy reset. Nope, not there yet. There's the unblockable. Throw the special 2. Easy knockdown. I did put skill power back boosts on this. We overshot that special 2. It would have ended the fight as soon as this cold snap would have disappeared. So unfortunate. And then we throw the special 3 here while the conduit debuff is gone. I did not heavy to reset Wushu's, so this isn't going to reset it, which is fine. I'm just going to let him use this special 1 and heavy. I'm going to let this debuff expire as the rock field expires. He's passive. I'm going to stun him. I'm going to cleanse. We're going to heavy reset. We're going to wait for him to be passive, and we knock him out. Full yellow bar. So game plan worked out perfectly, just did not want to get pushed to special 3, and unfortunately we did. Mr. Fantastic here. The game plan is to get a slow Wushu in first for a long duration slow, then stun, then heavy reset, and then from there on, I'm going to do them in reverse. Now, you might be thinking, I need to worry about doing the cleanse Wushu. No, you don't. You can completely avoid the cleanse Wushu by getting him to turtle and stun through his block, do the slow Wushu, and then heavy while he's still stunned. So here, you're going to see an example of that. I can actually parry because he's not unblockable yet, so I decide to take advantage of the long, slow duration. And I'm still not dealing with an unblockable Mr. Fantastic, so I decide to place another slow. Trying to bait out the special 2. He's not having it, and this unfortunately makes it look like I'm going to run out of slows. So now I got to get rid of these debuffs, and since I'm very close to special 2, I decided to go in, throw the cleanse to get those off so he doesn't evade, and then we drop this special 2. It pushes us to special 2, that's fine. Bait out an opening right here, throw the slow, throw the special 2, and it finishes him. So Shang-Chi showing up for his 5 fights and just mowing all 5 over, no problem. Felt really good. And then Hood's only fight this war is this King Groot on 50. Normally we take this with Rintra, but that player is on vacation at this point, and we tried to avoid section 3 fights. And I decided to speed this video up because all it is building hexes and never using a special attack. And then around 50, detonating the hexes and letting King Groot KO. So I'm not throwing any specials. I'd like to throw special 2, but Fate Seal is going to hinder the amount of bullets I can build up in this fight, and I really want to build him up since he only has 28 at the start, and I want to be able to place 50. I don't want that Fate Seal so that I'm constantly staggering buffs. So all this was pushing King Groot to special 1, placing the hexes, and making sure that they were constantly up so that I could build to 50. And then just paying attention to whether or not he had either the Fury or the regen so that we can parry or block bait a heavy and then retaliate the heavy. But this is pretty much all it is. That's why I decided to speed the video up. We're not doing anything creative. I do try to go with the invisibility heavy for the detonate, but King Groot was not having it. He ended up dexing out as if I was Ghost after his second hit missed, and I was unable. And then there, for some reason, I just completely missed the block. Hood did not put his block up at all. It's fine. The invulnerability boost was really just in case he went unblockable and I ate some hits. But, you know, when the game doesn't respond the way you want it to, that's also an excuse for that boost. So here we are. We're getting close. We're 10 outside the 5 hexes. I would like him to be closer to the 40-30% range before I detonate. So if we get to 50 before that, I'm going to continue building hexes, and I believe I do here go past 50. And you can see our bullet count over there. It's very high considering where we started. So I feel like right around here that I could get it to go. Wanted to bait out the special 1. Decide to put him to 1 more special 1. I try to bait this out. I decide to try and I thought I had, and you see Dex down. I thought I had backed up enough, and then he did that where the regen time worked out, but he detonated. And that was the end of my war. We didn't track deaths, but our BG died 4 times to their 2, and we ended up losing this war 3-14. So, as I said, we were locked in top 10 here. I mean, it was a no-win, no-lose situation for us. So we didn't stress too much about the perfect plan or whatnot for this war. We just needed to finish it decent, and we did that. So that was the end of season 37. Tomorrow I will probably do a reward, instead of a reward video, do a reward stream tomorrow night. So I'll wait till tomorrow night to grab those. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give it a like, hit subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow at the stream.